What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You know, we discussed this last week, and we see the NAACP. Yeah, come on in, man. Come on in. I'm looking at NBC News. The big news organizations are picking up the story, saying the NAACP is urging recruits to withhold their college commitments in states where the congressional maps are being redrawn. NAACP launched a campaign Tuesday calling on black students or athletes to boycott Southern colleges in the wake of a Supreme Court decision last month, a decision that weakened the Voting Rights Act, leading to the dismantling of one majority black congressional district and a push to scrap others. The NAACP will not watch the same institutions that depend on black athletics to fill their stadiums and their bank accounts remain silent while their states strip black communities of their voice. The NAACP is urging black recruits to withhold their commitments, and they have a list of university. Primary, the Southeastern Conference. The states would be Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, South Carolina, Texas, and Georgia. That's pretty much the SEC. Yeah. It gets into they're trying to silence the black vote. And they are requesting athletes to boycott. And they've targeted the programs, and they want you to direct your financial support to it. Now this is right here. This is what the SEC is making a huge mistake. The SEC said we request that those players go to HBCUs. Now, come on, now you're being ridiculous. Now you need visibility. If you're the top 10 recruit, now I'm saying go to Indiana, I know we're still in America, right? Oh, what about those districts? Well, look, at the end of the day, you be better get out of the SEC, go to Ohio State, Alabama, USC, Oregon, go where you still can be spotlighted and shown, go and still where you have a defense and the level of competition is good. You cannot leave a university in Georgia and go to a Savannah State. You're not going to get on TV. I don't care, and no matter how good you are, look at the competition. So no, they don't know. They're trying. They're trying. They don't try, but that's part about direct them to go to the HBCUs. Don't do that. Don't. That's well. Good luck. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at they put it together. And that's a lot. That's a big ask because also your NIL money. Come on, man. You jumping. You going way too far. Hakeem Jeffries has chimed in and he supports it. They say this represents stances that black sports figures like Jackie Robinson, Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, and they're not just encouraging blacks, they're focused on them, but they would hope, an Arch Manning would leave a Texas. They are. That's what they would hope. They would hope they wouldn't see it as a racial thing. They could see their fellow man is being held back, being discriminated against. Yeah, I think if Arch Manning was to go publicly and say, "I'm transferring to Oregon because of the racism my fellow man is suffering," that would send an impact. And don't never say never. Don't take it off the table. It might. He might do it. I mean, you jumping out here. I don't know him, but he's in a locker room full of black people, and believe me, they're going to have these conversations. And I think he'd do it because he would make a difference. He would show America the racism of what this Supreme Court did, what Trump did. Um, this is about the black athlete now. This is about the black athlete, and many of them are going to leave. They're going to leave those schools. Those schools are going to go out of business. Those schools are going to go out of business. The conference racial justice in the past in 2020, SEC commissioner warned that Ole Miss Rebels, which has 2 conference member schools, Mississippi, right? You got Ole Miss, you got Mississippi State. Said they were at risk of not being able to host a championship if they didn't change the racist Confederate state flag. And they did it. They had to do it because it was about money. It said, and good looks. Hats off to Greg Shankly for saying, "Hey, I'm taking a stand. I'm a white person, but I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in racism against my fellow man. You got to take that racist flag down." And they didn't want to do it, but because they weren't going to be able to get to the money, they had to do it. And you're going to see the same thing with these athletes. They're going to make a yap. They're going to run off at the mouth and try to justify their racism. But they're going to say, "I'm not going to Ole Miss." And let me tell you something. Now we're getting into the bone in this. Now we're getting in this. I'm telling you, this is the truth right here. If they don't have recruits right here, I went and looked up. That's University of Georgia, top recruits. If they don't have recruits, they can't win. They can't win. And if you guys don't realize how plentiful, especially in the SEC, okay, oftentimes the quarterbacks are white. But the rest of that team, 90% of that team's black. 90%. 90%. You see it. You see the championship games. You see it. If they lose those guys to the Big Ten, if they lose those guys to the ACC, it's over for the SEC. It's over. And these guys are going to leave. These guys are leaving and they're not going there. These I'm telling you, man, and you know it. They're going to start having 2 and 12 seasons. 4, the best SEC team will probably have, 5 losses. And then they'll get destroyed when they play the competition outside SEC, the whole brand of it. All of that's going to be gone, man. That's all going to be gone. They're going to have talent on the level of a MAC conference, a mid conference. They're going to be mid 11. That's over with for them. And then it's going to set a trend. The black players are just simply not going to go there. And I'm telling you, game day, what do you think they talk about? You think game day is going to sit there and talk an hour? You think Dion ain't going to take these players? You think they're not going to talk about how this guy needs to come play for this school? You think that? You think that they're going to sit there? If I was a coach in a team, why not take your best players? I don't get it. Leave them there for what? We got NIL money. If you're Indiana, say, "Hey, why don't you come play for a winner?" We got NIL money. And see, this is what people don't want to deal with. They think that, it has to happen overnight. It doesn't. It doesn't. The fact that these organizations are saying it, they're saying it already. You see, NBC picked it up. CNN is picking up the story. These are major news outlets. Of course, Fox News is going to ignore it. Of course. But this is going to become political, and we're getting closer to the college football season. And you're going to see these guys say, "I'm not going to this school." They're going to say, "No, I'm not going to this school because." And that's a reason. And that's going to hurt the state. And this whole notion, and that's just this whole, and yeah, it'll be a few Negroes who stay behind. It's always going to be a few Negroes. There'll be a few Negroes who stay behind. And it's not going to matter. They're not any good. And I hope they don't get drafted. It's going to be a few Negroes. No, I ain't going. No, I'm just going to play for the school. I don't care about. And they're going to get not. They're going to be by them. There's no have no defense. They're going to play on no offense. The coach, they're going to have to cut these coaches. They're not going to be able to pay those coaches because they're not going to be getting the TV contracts. And if you stay in one of these, they'll stay in Alabama. And guess what? Miss a pass and see if that whole stadium don't boo you and run you out. We just saw South Carolina. The man, goddamn security is finna shoot the wide receiver. The man ran in the tunnel and the cop ran after the man. Man's a goddamn college kid. You gonna play under those terms? You gonna play under those terms? This is what you have to put up with. And they're getting together. The message is getting out. The people are being notified. The people are changing. The athletes, the money makers, they're going to go to other schools. They're going to take that bread to other schools. And they're going to have their moments when they talk to the press. And they're going to publicly say, I can't play for this school because this state hates me because I'm black. And you're going to have the apologists come out and tell a pack of lies and try to convince you that, oh, they're overreacting. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not overreacting. And we saw it with Ali. We saw it with these Jackie Robinson. We saw all of these people stood up at a time when they could have shut up and took some money. No, they're going to stand up. And it's catching fire. It's catching wind. A lot of people don't like that. Black communities is falling in line with this. These are college kids. You know, they're not, well, I'm not going to go too far with that, but these are college athletes. They're pretty intellectual. They understand what's going on, and they're not going to go. They're not going to go. They're going to understand, and they're going to look around. The ones who don't know, they're going to tell them. And I would hope, Arch Manning, you're the type of guy, if you say, hey, I'm transferring from Texas, I'm going to USC. If Arch Manning right now publicly said, I'm not playing for the University of Texas because of the Supreme Court ruling, I'm going to Ohio State, I'm going to Michigan State, that's it. It's over. It's over. It's over. The states, they'll get the message then. And I know Arch Manning's a white guy. That's the whole point. They get the message then. If he shows solidarity with his fellow man, and I would hope he would, he doesn't need the money. His family's filthy rich. What are you going to do? This is time to take a stand. It's time for you to take a stand, Arch. It's time for you to show us what where we're headed. You're projected to be a first-round pick. You missed the football. Why don't you say, I'm not playing for the University of Texas? Because I'm not going to watch my fellow man be discriminated against. Why don't you do that, Arch? You're going to get your NIL money. Your fathers, they're rich. Everybody in your family's a millionaire. Now take a stand. Maybe this is your path. You're not, the money will be there. But now this is an opportunity for you to make history. And for you to give some leadership and direction to your people. Let them know the Confederacy is over. Let them know that your generation is not going to tolerate racism. You don't need to do it. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of people turn on you, Arch. But Arch, what are they going to do? They can't come around you now. You're filthy rich. With the potential, you'll probably make $1 billion in the NFL. Why not show your fellow brother that you stand with them? You're going to join the boycott of the SEC, and you'll take your talents to a better, well, Texas is pretty good. You'll take your talents to another team. Look, this is what they're going to have to do, man. This is what they're asking to do. This is the Montgomery bus boycott all over again. And now you're going to watch them and let them extract your talent extract your talent, black talent like oil, refine it and sell it to the public, fill our pockets while we discriminate against the constituents and the people who live in the city. The people are suffering, they're struggling. They're trying to get their civil rights back. You're out running touchdowns, and you're pretending at a press conference that all is well. All is well. They're not going to let that happen. They're not going to let that happen. And you see the groundswell is growing. And I'm telling you, all they need is Arch. That's what you guys don't realize. All it takes is, yeah, you'll get the black players, but if you get a major white player to join his fellow man, that's it. That's it. Because people will see the impact of the racism that's being displayed here. Right now, they don't see it, or they don't care about it. They care about it if he quit. They care if he walked away from Texas. They care. They care, and they'll bring attention to it. That it's wrong to discriminate against people. And they can't make it. They wouldn't win a game. They can't make it if they don't get their top recruits. They can't function. They can't win football games. If they don't get their top recruits, within 4 or 5 years, that university will go out of business. They might have to get rid of the football program. You're talking about losing billions of dollars. Also, you have no potential to make it back because now the athletes are going to boycott all your schools. They're saying we're going to go to other schools. Now, the whole HBCU thing, come on. Come on. That's asking too much. I think that even cuts your NIL money. That's just not going to happen. That just becomes that's sort of ridiculous. Someone who's a top linebacker for Georgia is going to go to a HBCU and nobody ever see him play. What if he gets hurt? You playing on high school fields. There's no ESPN. There's no opportunity. That's impossible. But they can get them, just go to the other schools. Go to the other schools. Get out of the SEC. Get out of the SEC. If they don't get if they are not getting top 50 recruits over a 3-year period, it's over for them. That causes out. All of a sudden, Georgia became Bowling Green. University of Tennessee just became Tennessee Martin, Middle Tennessee State. They'll have the talent, the equivalent of Middle Tennessee State. Where are you going to get your draft at? Why would anybody in their right mind go play? You're projected to look at Arch Manning. You think he'll go play for Middle Tennessee State? Someone gets a loose guy, comes around, takes his knee out, ends potentially $1 billion career. Why would he go play at such a horrific a college devoid of talent? Now, they do have a football team. They're just not very talented. And if the SEC loses its black talent, and this is a call to Arch Manning, if they lose their black talent, it's over. It's over. You guys don't understand that, but you'll see. You'll see. And I'm not even talking about basketball. That would come next. That would come next. And yeah, retaliate. Retaliate. So go after the pro teams. Go after all these NFL teams. You already paid for them. I hope the people know your tax money built them stadiums. So go on some Confederate racist resistance march. Okay. Go ahead. Get rid of the Atlanta Falcons. Get rid of those Yankees. And then what are you going to eat? What are you going to do? I mean, there's going to be no businesses there. We're not even talking about Toyota. A lot of those businesses are going to leave. As the boycott is going to continue. And it's going to affect your bottom line. As simple as that. And we already see it. We keep seeing more and more. It's cooking. Like the stream, brother. He said the NAACP is racist. Yeah, you're right. Any resist, isn't that something? I didn't know they were racist, bro. You can say ineffective, but racist? To who? To who? The NAACP? Look, when all is said and done, this is going to happen. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Money is going to flow out of the SEC, out of that school, out of those schools, and a lot of those schools, they're going to ban those schools. They're going to say we're not going to have championship games. We're not going to have businesses in these areas. You're going to see it, man. You're going to see it. See, you're Chud the Butler. A lot of these guys in the chat, they're Chud the Butler types. They're Chud the Butler types. There we go. There you go, brother. Get you out of here. They're Chud the Butler types. And they want black people to be servile and subservient. That's what they want. In the face of racism, you still out there trying to run touchdowns. Your people are getting bopped upside the head while you out here trying to make more money for the university and you quiet about it. You the good nigga. I'm telling you, this is a different day, man. That's a little bit different. It's a different world now. They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept that. Now he's talking about the NAACP. The NAACP is sounding an alarm, brother. What you think about the NAACP, that's you. That don't mean they can't sound the alarm. You know, it's stupid. Now there's clowns in the chat talking about he wants to do a deep dive into the NAACP. What the hell does that have to do with the discrimination against these athletes? Bro, they will change. They'll do anything. They play the shell game, the racial shell game, to change your focus. Get out of here, bro. I don't have a problem with the NAACP. I don't think they do enough. I think they need to do more. And you're going to see those schools drop off. You're going to see the Miami, Alabama game. You thought Oregon got beat. Wait till Miami plays Alabama. You would think that would be a competitive game. They're going to blow them off the field. They don't have no talent. The running back that could have been playing for them, you're going to see win the Heisman. The running back that could have went to LSU, he's going to go to another school and win the Heisman. And all that money is going to go to that school. And the days of winning in the SEC are slowly coming to the end. And they did it because of racism. They didn't do it for justice. They did it because of racism. They wanted to be unfair, and they wanted the Negro to stay quiet about it. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And yeah, of course there's going to be resistance. I see the way you guys are reacting to this. Of course you don't like it. Of course you don't like the Negro bringing this up. Why is the Negro talking? Go play football. But shut up and dribble. Well, of course they're going to be backlash, but you're going to see, and they're already doing it. They've already doing it. It's a major story now. It's getting bigger. Those recruits, their families telling them, no, we're not going to this school. We're not going to support a racist school. And maybe some of them won't redistrict. Maybe black people will still have power. Maybe they'll go and say, hey, we can't do this because we'll lose our black recruits. Yes. Yes, that's a reason not to do it. That's the reason to get. That's why the guy told Ole Miss, you got to get rid of that flag. Ole Miss was like, no, this is our heritage. They said, get rid of that flag, or you're not going to get these championship games there. You're not going to get a spotlight. And they got rid of the flag. They got rid of it. And they changed the name. See, that's what I'm saying. You say one thing, but the truth is they do have more power than you think, but you don't want them to. They're going to stick together, and you're going to see a mass migration of Negroes out of the SEC. Will it be still a bunch of, it'll be a bunch, they're no good though. You have a bunch of people with no talent who can't transfer, and they got no talent. Now hold up, on those, send them to the HBCUs. I can go with that. But no, if you're number one running back, projected first round pick, if you're Peyton Manning, you can't go to and play for Grambling, because you just don't get the spotlight. You just don't get what you need, the national attention, so that you can go first round pick, which he will be. He'll be first. And he'll get $1 billion. And it's a big ask, but I think he means so much, not to the entire landscape, but in the South he does. He's got so much interest that if he was to say, I'm transferring from the University of Texas, it would be a wake-up call. And it also would be put in the bed. We would be burying the past, man. This racism has got to stop. This racism has got to stop. And now it's time to bury the past. So they're going to boycott the SEC, but I would hope the players, especially if you play against them, if you play with them, reach out to Arch and tell him to think about it. Tell him he would help his fellow man if he transferred. And transfer to somewhere like University of Miami. Piss off the SEC. Go to a school they don't like. Not only that, go to a school you ain't supposed to be. Go to the University of Miami. Go to Florida State. Go there. But get out of Texas. And we saw Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin came up and said that he didn't like all the racism at the university. Now is the time. We got to make a difference. You got the bigots in the chat box. It's funny how if you touch racism, they get upset. Y'all bringing up racism. Well, we're suffering from racism. But why are you bringing it? Because I'm suffering from it? You see what I'm saying? They got to leave. You got to leave. You're not going to be able to ration with these people. You have no choice but to leave, transfer. And if you can, get your white brother to join you. Because there should be a mass migration of all athletes out of there. They don't deserve it. Why go down there and make all that money for these people? They hate you. They hate your kids. They hate you. And you're out here running and all of that. So for what? And then you say, because it's the same thing. They used to say this about Mike Tyson and Customato. Go look him up if you don't know who he is. He's an old ass white man. And the guy was talking about how great he was, how Customato, he didn't discover Mike. Mike was sent to him, and he watched Mike, and then he said, I can work with him. And in the process, he wound up, I don't know if he adopted Mike, but he was in like a boys home. It was about 5 other boys, and, Cuss fed him, and Cuss showed Mike how to box. And I said, hey, man, that's all good that Customato helped Mike, but he didn't do that for Mike. And it was like, what? I said, man, Customato did that for him. I said, it was money at the end of that. I said, you know how many delinquent black kids running around? They weren't at his house. He went with the one who could box. He went with the one he could create. And I said, don't give me this crap about he was this great guy. He did it for himself. He did it for himself. And some people believe he messed Mike up. Well, that's a whole different story. Some people believe that, though. That's why Mike has so many problems even now. So these universities don't give a damn about you. If you can't play, they would cut you. They kick you out of the university. So why do you feel like you owe them anything? You don't. You don't owe them anything. You'll get your money, NIL money. Go and look it up. It's all over. And it's mostly you, right? So you should be able to maintain your same sponsorships and transfer. You think Arch Manning, who's the highest paid NIL, you think his money would go down? Arch Manning made more than a few professional quarterbacks. Arch Manning made like $9 million. Now, bro, he made more than that, like $12 million. NIL, he got about 9, but he's got all types of little side deals. And he's a great kid. He's a great kid. More power to the guy. But no, if he transferred to Indiana, he's not going to lose any money. There you go. To all my black athletes down south, we stand with you. Protect your value. And you're starting to see the early stages of the movement. You're going to see a mass migration of black talent out of the SEC. I would hope that their white brothers would join them and transfer. Leave them with the equivalent of Middle Tennessee State. And let them go play Division I ball against these against a lot of the players that used to be at the university. And that'll teach them a lesson. They'll teach the world racism is a bad idea. This whole, you want to see the South, you want to relive the days of the South, well, now you can. Now you can relive the days of the South. And you already said, we said in the chat, they're going to attack those players, but they got to understand there's going to be a backlash because they want to control you. They don't want you. They want you to be a good, you know what I'm saying? You know what they want you to be. They want you to get out here and make money for them. While they turn around and take your mom and your dad and your grandma and your grandfather and beat them with bats and whips and then work you like livestock. Just run you up and down and make money off of you, but they don't give a damn about your people and where you came from. They want to hurt them. So these players are not going to play for these schools, man. And these players are not going to sit there and play for these schools. He said you actually have to have an actual GPA for northern universities. Well, see, you're a race. That's what I mean. That's why they should leave anyhow. Look at how you think of the people. You know, you look. These are the people out playing for your school. Oh, you gotta have a GPA. Oh, hey man, he played for us, but he's stupid, man. You really think that? I bet you couldn't graduate LSU. I bet you couldn't get a degree from LSU. You dumb fuck. This racist ass white man just came in the chat trying to make fun of the players at these schools. His fat ass. He ain't got a degree. Damn, bro, the entitlement is ridiculous, bro. What school did you play for? What school did you graduate? They just not smart. Yeah, sure, man. And I'm sure you're in the NFL, right? You made it. You see what I'm saying, man? And it's going to spread. You're going to that type of race. I hope they do line up in front of that camera and talk about how they should play for that school. Okay, they're going to say why. You can't find a reason why they should play for the school. You can't find one reason why they should play for the school. There is none. All he has is his racism. That's all he's got. And he's doing everything he can to try to keep Negroes quiet and silent and in the pocket. That ain't gonna happen, man. It's a different world now. This is the age of social media. They're talking about it. It's going to catch fire. Remember, Deion's still in college football. Deion, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Deion, you should literally rob the SEC of all their players. Oh, yeah, why not? Deion, this is the way things are, man. It was a reason you went to Colorado for a reason. You should be able to get every one of them. Every one of them. Now's your time. Let me get this bigot out of my chat box. There you go. Yeah, we got rid of him. Now is the time, Deion. Deion Sanders. What's the guy at UCLA? Hey, brother, come on. You guys got to open these doors up, man. Take all their talent. You can't lose sitting at a dinner table telling a family that your kid is safe with them. Your kid will be appreciated on this school. They're not going to call your kid racial slurs and wait till something happens to him and throw him away. Oh, he blew his knee out. Oh, well, he's got to get off the team. Now is the time, man. He says, exactly, well, Coach, you need to do it, Coach. And be upfront about it. Hey, Coach, Deion, be upfront about it. Say exactly why you're doing it. Now, I'm going to take all your players. You want to be racist? All of y'all can come play for me. Look, just contact and we'll put the paperwork in. All of you. I invite every last one of you. Do it, Deion. Say it loudly. Say it loud and proud. Say it loud and proud. And watch these bigots eat their words. Now, all of a sudden, they got to back up on their racism now. I can't wait till we talk about basketball. They lose. Man, you guys don't realize how much the SEC needs black people. You just don't realize that. I can't even imagine. You got Duke, right? You got Gonzaga, right? And what I'm saying is you tend to have sometimes those schools have a lot of white players. But you got to understand the type of players and the schools. The SEC, they can't field a basketball team of white players, man. Okay. All right, man. Good luck, brother. I want to see that. Remember, all the Negroes, they ain't equal to you, so they don't have a right. If they vote, their vote don't count. That is taxation without representation. Didn't we go to war for that? You want to mistreat the black people. You want to racially gerrymander the district so that the whites have all the power, which is exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. You shouldn't support that state. You shouldn't support that college. You should seek opportunities elsewhere. Now, I'm not saying go to no HBCU. I don't know. You can tell, see, they don't keep up with sports. Yeah, I ain't say that. They don't go, and I'm telling you, don't go to no HBCU. Keep your NIL money. There's plenty of colleges. SEC's one conference. Go to another college. Get your NIL money, but take a moral stand against racism. That's how you do it. And let's see what College Game Day says. Let's see what they say about it. Let's see if College Game Day joins the boycott. Said we're not going to do game day. We're not going to go in the SEC. They might. They can get McDonald's. We can get McDonald's stop advertising. If we can get them, and they can get Coke. Man, do you know how much money? And they can. You guys keep playing. They can. And you got to understand the reason is noble. This isn't some made up stuff. Any fool can see that they're racist against black people in these states. Nobody's making that up. And of course, the bigots want us to ignore the racism. They want us to look the other way to the racism. It's just like a slave plantation owner telling everybody that he's gave those Negroes jobs. I don't know why you're talking about me. Those people out there, I take care of them. If it wasn't for me, what would they do? I give those Negroes jobs and a reason to live. And they say, well, why don't you make them free? What are they going to do with freedom? See, that's the racism. They just make it up and they reinvent the wheel. So that's what I mean. You're wasting your time. Get out of those schools. Get out of the South. Go somewhere else. Get out of the South. And whether you like it or not, they're influencing those recruits. See, that's what they don't like. They don't like because they don't even, you can tell that's why they're already attacking these people already. Because they see what's about to happen. Where you at, Arch? Arch, take a stand. Transfer, Arch. Transfer in the year that you're projected to be a first-round pick. Maybe win the Heisman. Leave Texas. Do it for your brothers. Show the world what you stand for. This is the beginning, Arch. This is the beginning of your life, Arch. Your adulthood. It comes with a lot of decisions. Take a stand, Arch. Say, I will not support Texas if they engage in gerrymandering and racially deprive my fellow man of opportunity to exercise his voice to be heard. So I cannot play for Texas. Come on, Arch. Arch. That sound, it would change the world, Arch. It would show, especially the South, that there's a new day. There's a new Southern man. He's not the racist. He's not the bigot that the older ones are. It would show that. It would send a signal out. We need Arch to do it. We need Arch Manning. Take a stand, Arch. And if they lose their top recruits, man, it's over for them. If they lose the top recruits, they won't win a game. They won't win one basketball game. And we're going to drop the link, man. You're free to join, man. The NAACP has publicly come out and endorsed athletes boycotting the SEC. It's mainstream news. It's not just something made up. It's mainstream news now. That's going to affect those universities. Look at that. He talking about the NAACP. Well, they may have not done anything for black people, but they're doing something to spread this message out here. Attack the messenger. You can tell, see, they're running already. Attack the messenger. What about the message? You know, these bigots, see, they try to play this little racial shell game. The NAACP ain't done nothing. Oh, they've done quite a bit, bro. More than you think they've done. Don't let them trick your kids out of making lots of money only so they can stay in. NAACP don't hold no power. The NAACP has no power. What power does the NAACP have? They're going to make lots of money no matter where they go. You think USC don't have NIL money? You think if Arch Manning transferred to USC, he wouldn't get the same or more? Yeah, that's not going to work. See, they're also dealing with a different crowd. You're dealing with a college crowd. You're dealing with they're a little bit more intellectual. They're going to understand more. They're not going to fall for the complete madness. The NAACP ain't done nothing for black people. Yeah, that's not going to work with them. They're going to know that you're a liar, and they're not going to fall for the lies. They're going to say, that's what about the message they're putting out that the black athletes should leave instead of succumb to the racism of these states? They're going, that shit ain't going to work, man. And they're leaving. And they're going to influence others to leave. And you're going to see major white players in solidarity with their black brothers. You're going to see them leave. You're going to see them leave. They're going to leave. They're going to leave. He says, I don't think Arch wants to play football, but every guy in his family does so. He did it. Well, I disagree with that. I think he wants to play football. I don't know about, man, he ain't that. Look, bro, he's gotten better. How about that? Arch he's gotten much better. I think Texas is going to be in the playoffs. You don't know the Mannings. He's gotten better every year. He's really good this. Okay, he's my sleeper for the Heisman. I live in Alabama. Everybody gets along fine. The SEC has plenty of blacks at our schools. You Yankees are so confused about the South. Southerners don't want to go to California. I'm sure it is good for you in Alabama. Yeah, if you discriminate against me and I take it. Yeah, if you racist against me and I take it, and I quietly take it, I'm sure you do love the South. I'm a black man. Give me 15 white slaves and they're obedient and servile to me and they do work for me and they take care of me and they fix the house when it's broken. Why wouldn't and they stay in their place? Why wouldn't I like that? And then somebody said, "What you think about the South?" Man, it's great down here. But go talk to them. They probably would disagree. Well, I would rather do something else. Isn't that something? Then they start attacking the slave. What is wrong with you? He's doing a good thing for you. How? He's feeding you. Yeah, but he feeds me like he feeds his horse. See, that's how and that's what you are. If you're a college athlete and you go out here and you play football for one of these SEC schools, you're nothing but a horse. That's all you are. You're nothing but livestock. You're stupid. You're a stupid horse. You're livestock. And your fellow man is going to judge you accordingly. You deserve it. So go ahead and do it. Go out there and lift those weights and get out there and bang your head around and make the white man richer while your black ass can't even vote. It's a new day, brother. It's a new day. Thank you. Walter says, go where you're wanted and respected. There you go. There you go. Go where you're wanted and respected. You got top recruits that's going to boycott. They're going to leave the conference. They're going to show the white supremacists that they're not going to take his racism. And it's going to be a version of the Montgomery boycott, but now it's going to be in the SEC. The SEC, you're going to see more and more blacks, and you're going to see more and more blacks pressuring other blacks to leave. You're going to see these schools lose their main talent out. You're going to see a coach like Deion. He's going to have a powerhouse. Now, this year, I don't know. But if Deion can survive, if Deion can survive and not get fired, he can have the greatest college athletic team ever assembled. because they're going to go to him. Not all can't go to him, but he's going to get the pick of the litter. He's going to get them, man. The Manning family is one of the good old boys from the Confederate family. I think it would be Peyton's son, currently in high school, to break the racism. And if, okay, I didn't even know that. Peyton's son is in high school now? Okay. I hope so, Kendrick. I didn't know. I didn't, man, you know what? I didn't even think. I didn't know he got a kid in high school. FBAs need to start their own pro league. Well, they got to have some money. FBAs have to get together and they got to get the money up. Now, on that, it's a different world because you're talking about like a XFL, I think about 20 million for a semi-pro sports organization. But this the thing, Money Green, black people would have to support that. See, you got to support that. You got to go out there, buy tickets, sit in those seats and support it. And those players have to get some type of salary. They got to make more than $100. They got to make some money. So now, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I would say that's not in the cards. That just requires so much money up front before you even start seeing money. And of course, everybody wants to go pro, right? Right? Why not go pro? So where these guys gonna play? Where are these guys gonna go play? He said, we don't owe y'all nothing. Bryant, Byron, no, Byron. That's it, Byron, right? Here you go. Here's the join link. Why should a black person stay in a Southern school? Huh? Why should a black person stay in a Southern school? Byron. I don't know what your name is, bro. Brian. Why should a black person stay in a Southern school? Yeah, we're gonna have to block you, bro. If you want to have conversation, you're welcome. You just want to come over there and be in the chat and hurl insults and try to start fights, we got to block you, brother. Like, share, support, man. Hit the cash app, man. Hit the super chat. We got the join link posted, man. We got the join link posted. We'll take your thoughts. NAACP calls for black students, athletes to boycott the Southern schools due to the dilution of the black vote. There's been a couple of SEC programs who've responded. NBC's picked it up, CNN's picked it up. This is the beginning. These conversations will be asked about to the athletes. You're going to have a couple of pros chime in on it. And they're going to say, hey, why should the SEC, why are we making the SEC rich when they're diluting the black vote? Or they hate you because you're black. You're going to see a mass migration out of the southern states. I think Arch made more. Let me see. Arch made more last year. numerous rookie quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks, and some top tier veterans make made less than Eli Manning, Arch Manning man. Arch made $9 million, and he's a college quarterback. He's making more than guys in the pros. He's making more. And this is an opportunity, man. I know it's going to be a big decision, but you're going to see a mass migration of black athletes out of the SEC. It's just simply going to happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You can think it's a good idea, but they're going to leave. It's up to the players though. It's up to them though. If Negroes decide to stay, they deserve what they get. If you want to live in Jim Crow, do nothing. If you think you deserve better, do something. Like the stream, man. It comes down to decisions. And if the youth want America to be better, they're gonna have to sacrifice. They don't have a choice. They're gonna have to sacrifice. It's just a matter of time before there's a police incident with a football player and he gets mistreated because of his race. Okay, and you decided to stay in these sundown towns with these sundown schools and you lost your life. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We saw that in South Carolina. The security guard, the guy goes into the tunnel and the security guard threatens him. We saw it in South Carolina. They're not going to recognize these Negroes as someone on the even playing field with them. We've seen that. That's how it works. They're not going to recognize these Negroes as legitimate, equal citizens. So they're going to attack them. And a lot of that attack is going to be racial. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. NAACP have put out a warning and a request for a boycott immediately by all these SEC schools. They noted LSU, Mississippi State, all of them mostly. And we're seeing USA Today, NAACP is pushing for athletes to boycott SEC, what's it? Not what SEC schools. The white supremacists saying that none of these hardworking athletes are going to boycott the SEC. Yep, the tax. The tax. Yeah, and they're trying to spin it saying that blacks shouldn't do it. So, they're going to come up and attack it. But that's what they have to do. Now, the NAACP, right? They're spreading the message. He said, look at this racism, right? He said the NAACP is not a black organization. White people were at the, you mean Jews? You mean Jews? You know what I'm saying? What is that supposed? What is a black organization? This is the type of idiocy, right? And now those athletes are not going to fall for that. And the request is coming from the states and the racism of those states. This has nothing to do with the NAACP. NAACP doesn't have any power. It's never had power, and it is what it is. It is what it is. It's the NAACP. It was founded by Jews. It's what it is. It didn't change overnight. And there's going to be a movement of people to try to stop it. We'll see, though. They tried to stop the Montgomery bus protest. They tried to stop it. There was Negroes out there. There were thugs. There were a bunch of thug Negroes who were comfortable in their race and comfortable in their inferiority. They were comfortable. And they didn't want to go get out there and march or they weren't going to protest, none of that. They knew where they fit. They knew they were niggers. Now, a lot of these athletes are not going to accept that. They're not going to go and play for those schools. They're just not going to do it. NAACP calls for boycott over the voting, redistricting, and it says the SEC hasn't had a black head coach since 2020. Half of the players in the FBS are black, but 13 black head coaches out of 136, down from 17 out of 120. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. I mean, the head coaches and stuff, that's a little bit different. But the players don't have to support a school. Why go to a school that's complicit in racism? Why go to a school that's complicit in silence? When something happens to you, something bad happens to you, you got to shut up. Meanwhile, the white supremacists running around talking about things are so unfair. But when something happens to you, you got to take it. Be quiet. Well, if you're an athlete, you don't have to go to those schools. This is America's the country you make. What kind of country do you want to live in? You want to live in a country that's racist toward you because you black? Is that what you want to do? Or you want to take control and you can go to another school and you can verbally complain about why you did it. You can voice your concerns that you would have been playing for LSU, that you would have played for University of Mississippi, you would have played for Tennessee, you would have played for Arkansas, you would have played for Florida. You planned on playing for South Carolina. You love that school. Your brother went to that school, but because they embrace racism, you decided to come to UCLA. You decided to go to Miami. You decided to go to South Florida. You had to. You said you had no choice. They left me no choice. And you're going to see a lot of black players do that, man. And the scrubs are going to remain. Most of the players on the team are going to be scrubs. They're going to be guys with no talent, low talent to no talent. Hakeem Jeffries has come out publicly. He stands with that. He's urging athletes to boycott institutions within the SEC. He says Jim Crow 2. They're getting the message out, man. And those kids, we're going to see what they do. They got parents. We're going to see what their parents do. A lot of their parents grew up in the church, man, right and wrong. They're going to go by that. Oh, Fox News. I was waiting on it. Did Fox News do this? Hold on, let me see. Did Fox News pick the story? I didn't think they were afraid of it, but no, they haven't picked this up. Did they? This is ridiculous. Is this Fox News? Okay. It says Fox News Outkick. What is this Outkick stuff? I don't even know what Outkick. It says Outkick. I don't know. So this is some type of racist wing of Fox News channel. Yep, they're going to try to put the fire out before it catches wind, but it's going to blaze out. The same power that built these programs can be redirected. And the white supremacist is shaking in his boots because he knows the power of this. He's shaking. He's shaking. The white supremacist is going to come after this. He's going to try to undermine him. Oh, that's racist to leave LSU. Hey, that's racist to leave. Sir. Okay, it's racist, it's racist, it's racist. They're going to lose. They're going to leave. They're going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else. They're going to take all that money with them. That means that's money for coaches. That means the TV networks. They don't want to watch Alabama with no talent. There ain't no top recruits on LSU. They're not going to watch those schools. Those schools are going, they can't make it. You got to have money. You got Indiana. Indiana can open up the doors. Take a lot of those schools. Take a lot of that talent with them. And you got top recruits that's turning down those schools, going to these other schools. And it also forces these states to deal with their racism, which a lot of people don't want to do. They want to turn the page. They want to look the other way. They want to say it's not happening. No, this is going to force a lot of those universities to deal with their racism. And these athletes, they need to do it. It's long overdue. It's long overdue. And they're going to run the same old racial shell game. This is about the NAACP. What about the NAACP? I'm going to be for real. I've never supported the NAACP. That's what I'm saying. What about them? But they're putting the message out. They're putting that message out, and the message needs to come out. The message needs to come out. And the kids are going to learn about racism because they're going to grow up seeing an athlete won't go to the college because of, why won't he go? He's a great athlete. Well, he's not going to go because of the racism. And that's why we're so divided now. That we could thank Trump for that. Trump is a divider. He's divided the country. He's happy it's divided. And let's see if Trump chimes in on this. Let's see if Donald Trump reaches out and chimes in on what's going on. This is his country, right? In a Trump America, black kids transfer out of the South. In a Trump America. In a Trump America, black kids have to go play football outside the South. President Trump, it's your responsibility. This is on you. This is you. This is your fault. And you know what? No, I'm going to play this right here. Go ahead, man. Sling it out. If black people resist racism, they're racist. Go ahead, call them. They're finna leave. They're going to leave. They're leaving those schools, man. You can label them whatever you want to. If they won't take your racism, they won't accept your bigotry and just accept that with that court ruling, well, you got to accept it. They don't have to accept that. You know what they can do? They can transfer. You don't have to be your nigga. And that's what a lot of these guys want you to be. When you listen to these podcasters, a lot of the Ben Shapiro's, they want you to be their nigga. So they can talk down to you, use you, and make a fool out of you. And if you resist, you being racist. Well, we're going to find that out. We're going to test that theory. We're going to test that. You're going to see a mass migration out of the SEC. It's going to affect that university. It's going to affect the school. You're going to see this. The white supremacists is going to look real stupid when there's no talent. And all of those schools are not winning. So you got to understand, these schools only lose 2 games. When you have a 4-loss Georgia and a 4-loss Alabama, when you don't have when you don't have wins and that conference isn't making money, what's going to happen? They talked about it has a domino effect. Now they'll make it this year, but next year it's going to affect them. They'll make it this year. It's the sad part is a lot of black parents won't look any further than painting their sons with pairing their sons with Coach Kiffin's pro-style air raid offense. LSU is wide receiver university. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Look at this guy coming here talking about Trump. An executive order means nothing. Mandating a fiscal endowment. He misspelled black college. Brother, get out of here with that bullshit. Go kiss Trump's ass somewhere else. Trump is a racist. Okay? Donald Trump is a racist. You fucking moron. Oh, but he financed the black schools. That don't mean anything. Donald Trump's a fucking racist, just like you. Whoever you are, HM, he's just like you. You know what? We're going to block you. Get your ass out of here. Racist sack of shit. Come over here talking about some Donald Trump. You're going to see a mass migration out of the South. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Hold up. And we're going to see these bigots. They're going to suffer for their racism, brother. You're going to watch them. They're going to watch them. They're going to miss all these recruits. And then hopefully, man, I wish somebody could get to Eli. I mean, Arch. Arch, that's all we need. If Arch Manning decided not quit football, transfer. Just transfer, Arch. You're going to get all your money, and you're going to be historical figure now. You stood with black people. You stood with your fellow man. Where you at, Arch? Come on, Arch. Now's the time to do it. Come on, Arch. Take the lead on this. Yeah, well, you're going to get a lot of black recruits. Now we need to get the white recruits too. Right is right, right? It's not racial. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. Leave. Get out of those schools. Transfer. Leave. Go to Notre Dame. Look at Notre Dame. They got a great coach. Take a look at Notre Dame. You're going to be on TV every day. You're going to go pro. Go play for Notre Dame. You don't have to play for these SEC schools. Now's the time. What's up with you, Tabor?
Man, chilling, man. Listening to the conversation about the more of the racist side, bro. I can speak on the sport, but I don't really rock with sport. But I don't believe that them boys just leave like that because there's too many people that benefit that's older than them, and before they would stand up for themselves, they would end up losing out, and it'd be like I guess late 20s, early 30s before they realize what they should have done over what was actually
I don't know
done
what
based
you
on.
mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I don't. I have no. I don't even know what you mean by that.
So at 18, what you saying they can go off to a school up north, but their parents, coaches, people around them go influence them to stay in the south.
Why? Why would they do that?
I mean, they got payoffs, right? People get
They can,
certain.
they can get that from. They can go. You can go. You can go to University of Alabama. You can live in Alabama. You can be born in Alabama. And if you're a projected first round pick, you can go to any school out there. You're gonna get your money.
Yeah,
It
which
don't matter. It don't matter. If you go to USC, you're gonna get your money. You don't have to
yes,
go to Alabama. You don't have to go. I'm saying you can get your money if you can go to Alabama because you choose to. But if you want to, you can go to USC. They're going to pay you NIL out there. Now, the stuff that you're insinuating, if they're doing that illegal stuff, they can do that for your parents. Uh, they can do it too. They can do everything Alabama's doing. These other schools can do it.
yeah, which is understandable. But so I know as a youngster, when I was around my uncles, my aunties, there were people. They always had these conversations about race, right? But nobody ever left, right? If they talked about their boss, they never quit their job. Like
Okay.
so we could leave, right? But the people around them ain't never left, despite the situation overall. What they know happens in the South. I mean, because we know it, and there's other people that don't, that ain't our color, that know it too, but they gotta overlook it because for the most part they can't go against the grain. They gotta stay where they at. So I mean, it sounds like
Well, if you're a good player, you don't have to stay where you are.
no, I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about just ordinary people, regular
I'm
civilians.
not talking about order. I'm talking about those football players.
Yeah, but I'm saying the regular people is gonna be who influenced them to stay. Just like the regular people can influence
Why
them to go
would
to
why
schools.
well, why would they stay?
That's where they from. That's what they know.
Okay. Well, first of all, that a lot of you need to go look at those team rosters. A lot of those people are not from those cities, those states. You got some colleges. Nobody from that community. Nobody's on that roster.
In the South.
Nobody. Yes, in the South.
And they came from the North.
I don't know where they came from. They might have came from. Say you got 3 guys from Louisiana, 4 guys from Florida, 3 guys from um, Kansas. And when you go look at the roster and you say, you guys are in Cleveland, but there are no local players in the area at the school, but you guys play for this college. So that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of it's like that. It's just who they recruit. Just because I go to, if I go to Mississippi, I don't have to recruit Mississippi players.
But
I don't
any
have to. I don't have to. I can go recruit other players.
and they wouldn't understand the dynamic of the racism the way it hit in the South unless they actually down here. But even with people that deal with racism, they just still be down here.
Do people talk?
Talk about what?
Things. People communicate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. They got this thing, some oxygen. They got this topic off the internet. Now it's in major, it's on NBC. It's Fox is covering it. Well, Fox has Outkicks. I don't even know what that is. I thought that was from homosexual stuff. But anyhow, Outkicks Sports is covering it by way of Fox. And it's got oxygen. Now, those other players, you can say what you want. They're reading this stuff. They're they're talking to people, and they're thinking about transferring. And they're going to do it if it's a group thing, you're going to see a mass exodus. If you could get a guy like Arch, they can get this message to Arch. I don't know how he was raised. He might believe in doing the right thing. So you might see Arch Manning leave. And his decision would just carry such an impact to the nation. Would it even hurt him? Nope. It would hurt. He don't need no help, but he would be helping a lot of people. Because they would say he could have sat on his ass, but he said, no, I'm going to do what's right. And I transferred to whatever, you pick the college, which he could do, and he could start.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hold up. And it would piss the white supremacists off because they lost Arch Manning. And let me tell you something. Well, we're not even going to go down that rabbit hole. They lost Arch Manning. How about that? Go ahead, Tabor.
I see, and I was about to make the statement, bro. Somebody made the statement about the athletes and the politicians instead of looking up, why we don't look up to politicians instead of athletes and celebrities. I mean, that's who they put in front of us. They got more power in most cases. But I'll say about it, bro. Like even this right here, like it's a long overdue situation. Like they know this been going on. There's I believe that there's something on the back end, like just listening to you talking, it's just popping up now, right before the summertime, and then they got this other case going on. They just got black people all in their emotions all summer long, bro. They playing the same game they played last year and the years before.
Okay. Okay.
And,
Okay.
and these 18-year-olds, bro, they not gonna really be out here
You know
to
what you said is ridiculous, right?
what I said.
They got black people in their emotions. What they're supposed to do? Be comfortable. Be comfortable with things going on the way they're going.
Now they supposed to deal with it without other people bringing it to their attention, especially when they know about it. That's when people get emotional about it.
What difference is their emotional about it? Why does that matter?
Because you can't think logically when you're emotional about it. You just ranting and raving online instead of putting in the actual work that
Well,
needs to be done to change it.
that's a completely different thing. I don't even know. Well, and then you could say the YouTube. You can cut YouTube off. That's all of YouTube. But
Yeah, but
when you say emotional, if you discriminate against someone, they're probably going to be emotional. Now the NAACP gave oxygen to this. They did. Whatever the NAACP is, who cares? See, that's how you know a white supremacist. He's going to start talking about the NAACP as if this is some time on way to fix what's broken in. Nope. We need them to get oxygen. Now the story's out there. And it's
Yeah.
going to influence these players. These players are going to leave these schools. And it's going to catch fire. You're going to see more and more doing it. And when that happens, you're going to see the SEC is going to pay for their racism. Now, white supremacist, he doesn't want me to say that. He wants me to be a good nigga, shut up, go get me a Mississippi State t-shirt, go to the game. And then when it's time for me to vote, he can bop me upside my head and say, we ain't going to do that. The community's not going to accept that. They're going to, they think more of themselves.
What I'm saying is, even though this situation has to be dealt with, it should have been dealt with. And if the NCAA, if they bringing it up now, there's a reason for it. Everybody always have some back plan that nobody knows nothing about, because this could have came up years ago. This should have been dealt with in the 90s or the 80s when they put people on the teams and it was blacks and whites running together. Certain situations should be done. As far as being fair,
But Tabor, it wasn't handled.
I know it wasn't handled.
Okay, well then now they're trying to handle it.
Man, this ain't just coming up. Man, ain't nothing just coming up, bro.
Okay, they didn't handle it then. They want to handle it now.
Man, they got a lot of people riding on these kids that be in these schools, bro.
Yeah,
I can't
a future. Yeah.
I
You can
can't I
change you
can't
can change your family's life. You go out there, you play good for LSU, and they watch the tape. You didn't give up a tackle, and you come back the next year, and you say they got a guy who's projected to go in the first round, and you play him, and you hold him to one pressure. He don't even get a sack. Yeah, you're gonna go top 3. That's what, millions and millions of dollars. That matters. But you don't have to do it for LSU. You can go to another school and still get your money. And those are the ones that need to leave. That's what I'm saying. Look, do you want to have the whole black, all the black players on this team go somewhere? I mean, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying the top player. If you can get the top 10 recruits from the SEC to go to other colleges, and next year get to top 10 and top 20, they go to other colleges. And in year 3, you done took the top 25. SEC is gonna go straight. They won't have any talent. They won't win a game. And that's going to affect the TV contract. That's going to affect other players. Players are not going to want to go there because they're not winning. So it's going to have a domino effect. And it's only a matter of time for a Southern cop to assault one of these football players, these college football players. He's doing it because he hates black people and he's a racist. It's only a matter of time before that happens. Then what do you think the blacks are going to do?
nothing. The LSU situation showed
Well, they
everybody
can
that.
transfer. They can transfer. I mean, we mean within the law.
The damage beating got done. I mean, it was the law who did it.
What
That was
LSU? What happened at LSU?
the dude that they said got in the car wreck and hit somebody, and he hung himself in jail.
What? Did he hit somebody?
Nah, bro, it was a lie.
Well, what about his car?
What do you mean? What about his car?
Did his
You
car
talking about the damage
was he
or
in
the
a wreck?
cameras?
Was he in
No,
a wreck? So
they
they
don't have
just
none of that.
arrested. Hold up, they just arrested a guy. Was he just walking around?
Nah, bro, he played for LSU. They say he was like out or something, and they caught him on camera, and somebody lied and said it was him who did it when it was another car.
Okay, well,
Man,
if what you say is true, well, I'm sure they got within LSU. They're going after what they can do from a legal standpoint. Tabor, you have to remember, when we talk about stuff, we talk under the assumption that it's law abiding and it's a proper way to remedy the matter. We don't talk about take matters into your own hands. So I don't know what happened to this guy, but we hope that he gets justice. If what you say is true, that sounds terrible. And it's also going to put spotlights on um that. So that's what I'm saying. People are going to say, why should he play for these schools? And these schools, it's dangerous for them to be athletes. It's dangerous for them to go out and about. Look at the Chud, the builder.
His name was Carrion Lacey, something like that, bro. The 2024 season, bro.
Okay, well, I don't know. Okay.
And I can understand where you coming from. Like we talking like it's law abiding, but it's like, man, within the law, we supposed to be equal overall. But at least just say as humans, decency, right? But it ain't like that.
Well, it is.
Realistically,
Well, I'm gonna say this again to boy. It is like that. You can approach matters the way you want to, but it is like that. And you got to understand, to boy, conversations, sedition, and shit like that. You can't have those conversations. You know, we want people to follow the law 100%. If you want to transfer, transfer. If you feel like you've been wronged, take it into the courts. That's how you handle it. I get where you're going, but that ain't that's not to be said. How about that? I get where you're going, but nah, we don't over here. We think that's a bad idea. You taking the law into your own hands. I mean, you could do what you want to do, but no, I don't endorse that. I would say don't do that.
I mean, I'm not talking about anybody taking the law into his own hands. You made it a point to say like it's gonna take for something to happen at one of these schools, and I'm telling you something that happened in the Southern school at LSU. This ain't
Okay.
random people. This is
Yeah, I
this is
didn't
the
even hear
law.
about it. Well, this is the thing. It'll get now that this redistricting stuff, it's going to get a little bit more spotlight.
Man, we thought the same thing with body cams, bro. It didn't play out like that. And I get what you're saying about certain conversations can't be had, but that really be the
Right.
thing, bro. The conversations don't be getting had. The conversations
Well,
don't be
then
getting.
accept, but don't change nothing, man. Just accept it. If that's the case, just forget it, man. You can't do nothing about it.
What part? The
Any of your
conversation.
any of your disagreements. If nothing's because you're saying nothing will change, so just accept it. Roll the dice, man. If your kid gets uh 18 in the university, they send you a letter and say, unfortunately, your kid is deceased. They got into something with a camp security, and you said nobody can. All they, and they just tell you, um, we got a $2,500 funeral offering for any student, and then is that what you want? Is that what you want? I said most people don't want that. So what I'm saying is they're going to make sure they're treated fairly. They're going to do everything they can to get fair treatment. That's how
But
you address that. You got to go and fight for fairness.
yeah, but to fight for fairness, it would make sense to be consistent with it, right? And hold everybody accountable, no matter what they look like or what position they in.
Go
And
ahead.
we can't wait until like the NCAA didn't picked it up and said something about it, and now we having a conversation about it when he should have been had a conversation about it.
Okay.
Somebody,
Well,
somebody
we're
mad.
looking we're looking forward to the SEC to respond. They haven't made a statement, but we're looking forward to them, and they're going to have to respond. I get what you're saying. Some things were done in the past. Nobody did anything. Okay. They're trying to do something now. And we'll see, man. It's up to the athletes. If they leave, they're not going to be able to field the team. Nobody's going to go and watch scrubs play for Georgia, backups and scrubs, guys who couldn't break the starting lineup for the other Division One schools. You got a bunch of those guys. Nobody's going to want to watch them play. They're not going to win any games. Then you're not going to be able to afford your coaches because now your money's going down. So how are you going to get the good coaches? So then how do you get the TV contracts? We're on the verge of seeing that. And the assumption is blacks won't stick together. Okay. I don't know. But that's the assumption. But I think if the right people pick up the torch, I disagree with that.
You said the right people pick up the torch.
If the right people.
I mean that, and some youngsters. I mean, this is a perfect example of what they can, how they can start changing some things. But if you came from nothing, the last thing you thinking about is changing some things. You trying
But
to
but
just get
but
right.
Tabor, okay, remember this, Tabor. They don't have to play for an SEC school and they can still get the NIL money and an education. They'll just be getting it from out of state or another school. That's
Is
the
it
key thing. Oh, hold up. There you go. My fault. Go ahead. You up
is
there?
it
Yeah, go ahead.
is it a situation to where they still got all the same opportunities by way of wherever school they go to, same
That de-
resources? Because wouldn't that matter, especially if a person
Not
grew
really.
up and they
Not
watched a certain team?
well. If they want to boycott, they're going to have to accept that they're at a different school. But they can stay. You can stay at the school, but it's going to come with extreme criticism.
Could they lose
You're going to look
scholarships if they
if you
boycott?
stay if you line up as the quarterback for the University of Tennessee, you're going to look like a stone Uncle Tom making the white man rich. So, and I already tell you, I already know that ain't going to work in the black community. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you, if they hang that, and they hanging it out there pretty tough. And they have colleagues, they got people that they're graduating class. These people are going to communicate with each other. They're going to tell them, hey man, you need to get off that university. Hey man, how you sit up there playing for Georgia? These guys are going to transfer. They're going to transfer. You got Miami. Miami was in the championship. You
I
got the
mean, what?
University of Miami. You got a lot of schools, man, that if they lose these black recruits, they won't be competitive programs. And the white supremacist for once is having to deal with the Negro in ways he don't like to. He don't want to deal with the Negro when it comes down to money, and that's what he's playing with. That's what he's flirting with. And yeah, it's gonna be some Negroes go get
Hello.
if you lose your top 10 recruits
Thank
for 2 years, guess what? University of Tennessee just became Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee wouldn't win a game. They wouldn't win a game in the SEC. That's the type of talent that's out that they're going to have. And those athletes are going to be telling publicly the reason they don't want to take a school, the reason they're choosing not to go to certain schools, the reason that they're not doing it is because of the racism of the SEC. They're going to be saying that publicly. So you can keep trying to spin it and say it's not like that, but that's the way it's perceived. And that's what you don't understand. That's how it's perceived. And the NFL, they don't need the South. They really don't. They can pull that team out of Tennessee. And remember, you paid for the stadium. They're not going to take the stadium with them, but they can take their team. And you can have Hank Williams concerts. And you can let Sean Hannity, you can listen to his racism. You can do all of that right there in that big stadium.
But if
African American students will rise up and they will leave the South.
and so I mean that's a that would. Do you think the money that would be needed for, I guess, scholarships is gonna be there though?
We show up they transfer?
Yeah. Like, are they gonna
Yes.
honor scholarships?
Yes. Yes. And these are college students. They know how to assess what's best for them. They know how to look at things. This is a time, these are students. They're about rebelling and change. They're not going to play for the South, man. They're not going to be in the South.
I can say some are.
They don't
You
even
start.
want black coaches in the SEC. See, this is going to highlight that. SEC has struggled with racism. Look at Ole Miss, but they don't have black coaches. And you got to understand, if they are perceived in a way, that's going to affect their advertisers. That's going to affect people coming to the school.
I know my sister went to Grambling State. It was time. I think his name was Eddie George or Eddie Robinson, something like that. Some black coach went there, and when he went there, it was a big deal, right?
Well, hold on. You said what? Oh, you talking about Grambling State?
Grambling State.
Okay.
My sister went there, so when I went there, it was a big deal for her, them, and we didn't even watch sports like that in the highs. But even then, it seemed like it wasn't that many coaches, and it's not the first time I didn't heard that it don't be that many black coaches, but people still deal with it,
Okay,
regardless
but
if it's.
now's the time to change.
It's a lot of money to be lost, man, and we not talking about from the higher ups. We talking about from the just regular people.
But it's not going to you.
They not what?
It's not going to black people, all that money.
Yep. So they go. So right now they would rather take crumbs instead of taking nothing. That's why most things don't change.
You're talking about scrubs.
No, I'm talking about people. I'm talking
Well,
about the situation.
if I'm a backup to a backup at Mississippi State, and the main players leave, and the guy under him leaves, and then now it's up to me, and I'm a backup to a backup, I'm not good enough to be on that field. But if they're fielding guys like me, they're not going to win any games.
I mean,
And
but
it's really going to show with Alabama and Georgia, because those teams don't really lose games. They might lose 2 games. I think Ole Miss, they lost 1 game. They lost 1 game. So these teams don't lose games. If they lose talent, they can't win games. SEC don't hire that. They're going to bring up that. They're redistricting, and they don't want black coaches. It's just a different world. The SEC has so much dirty laundry. They should be running. They should be running for the hills for this, because it's going to bring up their racist history. And it's going to affect those recruits, man. They're not going to get the top recruits.
and I believe they still going, and I'm saying that because they still going to this day, and we all know about Georgia and Alabama. As a driver, like, I'm in a totally different industry, and I don't like going through that because I know
Yeah,
what
I
time it is.
haven't been fortunate enough. You mean the state of Georgia?
The state of Georgia, the state of Alabama. They're like that with regular people. So people that's giving you something that's making the place look good, they'll be just nice enough to you. But overall, they ain't changing no laws or changing no situations to where you will really win. And that's not a law that's gonna put other people in their feelings about how they treating you now. Even though the person that they treating better is because he has a talent or he adds value to the state itself. They're not going to do that. They're going to worry about the mediocre people, so they won't feel a certain way.
I have
Right?
that. Boy, I have no idea what did you say? You said what?
The school, the state, the school, and the SEC, right? They're not going to change the laws to benefit the black kids that's in their area that helps the school. They're going to keep it the same, so the mediocre person that watches the TV and watches him play don't feel a way in Alabama and Georgia. That's the South.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I hear what you're saying. I disagree. I think that this particular group, you got smart people, you got intellectual people. I think they're smart enough to see what's going on, and I think they're going to transfer. And you're right, it's always going to be some Negroes. They can't go nowhere else. And let the white man take care of those Negroes. So who cares? If they can't go and they don't want to go, well, you deal with that white man and his racism. You don't want to change. You got to get them. Got to get up out of there. But see, those Negroes don't make that white man money. So you're gonna see how he feels. Yeah, he makes money off of these Negroes. Those top recruits, that makes money.
I mean, I can see that one. I can see because they top recruits, but the fact that the top recruits are gone, the people at the bottom, I guess second string or third string or whatever, they gonna be more happy than mad because they get to play now.
But they get to lose. So boy, you can't win with backups.
Man, I get that.
You don't keep, but you don't really keep the backups. To boy, if you could win with backups, you would be the coach of the year. You need the players. That's why you recruit them. They need to be top of the class. You get a defensive back. He's the number one defensive recruit. Believe me, it's a reason. They're not just making that stuff up. It's the way he plays and understands the field. You need him. Believe me, it's like night and day. You can't win with University of Tennessee talent. You would have to be a magician to do that.
I'm coming from I'm coming from the perspective of the boycotting when it's time, and you talking about a whole team.
It's happening now.
What's the teams? Like, can't they lose their contracts? I mean, they not contracts, but they scholarships.
They can transfer. You can transfer. You can sit out. You don't have to even, if you don't want to play this year, you can sit out. You're gonna get your eligibility. You come back, you play, you go to the pros, but you go knowing that you took a decision and you stood against bigotry and racism.
Yeah, I can't.
Even though the white supremacist is gonna complain and complain, you stood up against. People got to remember they attacked Dr. King. When Dr. King was protesting, the white supremacists attacked him. They called him a communist. They said he was racist. Because they did not want black people to. Anytime a black person is doing something, the white supremacist is going to try to yank the rug out. And he'll use a Negro. He'll go get some talking Negro to yank the standing out of that black person. That's the game, brother. Now, you're right. There's a hustle out here. It's a game. But you got to see through it. And I'm telling you, these potential NFL recruits, they don't have to accept disrespect. They can go to another college. They're going to get their degree and they're going to get their support. The University of Miami. You want to see some good treatment? Let one of these recruits, a good one, leave one of these SEC schools and go to University of Miami. And the people in Miami know exactly what he did. He left because of racism. Man, they're going to embrace that man. That man will be
in the South, bro. I don't know about that. In the South?
Oh, they would in Miami. Well, they don't like this. No. Miami don't like the SEC. See, you got these little rivalries too, and they don't like each other.
Because they got some things that was out in public, or they got some things you think happened in private. And that's the way
years, like just college football. If you go back, people who followed the history of it.
Hey man, I can't see no 18-year-old throwing his future away to try to change some laws that probably ain't gonna go his way.
His parents can guide him. His parents can give him direction. His parents fully understand what's going on. They can say, we don't want you to go to that school. Why? The state is bigoted and racist and they hate us. We need to send you to where? We'll take University of Miami. the coaches say, hell yeah, he can come play for me.
And like to even be like that, man, it's just like the ball was just dropped in so many areas that that it's just spewing out of things that most, I can't say most, people care
Everybody,
about. Like,
people don't want to be discriminated against. They're not. You're saying just accept it. They are saying they're not going to accept it. So I hear
man,
what you're saying, but that ain't how they see it.
Colin Kaepernick was the same way, wasn't he? Look at him. They gave him some paper, but he ain't never got to play like that.
Well, I'm not with the
After
to my
that,
take a knee. That's different. That was the Callan thing. I didn't support that.
it's a level of
Now
racism.
I thought that they was what they were saying was a lot of that was hypocritical, but no, I don't think he should take a knee. And what was the point with taking a knee? Free speech and all of that stuff. This is different. This is legitimate. This is legitimate. This is people don't have a voice. This is when you look at the United States Congress, you might see two black people. This is about not having what you believe even represented in Congress. This is a step back. This is different. Collins take a knee. That wasn't a step forward. That was some free speech stuff. I don't know. People made into some other stuff, but
I,
they say you should be able to burn a flag. I don't think so. Trump did put out executive order. That don't mean anything. So what I'm saying is, you want to burn the flag? Okay, free free speech. I don't think that's free speech. When the representative in Tennessee had the picture and it was a burning Confederate flag, I didn't agree with that, and I do think he was arrested. I think he should have been arrested. I don't
uh,
think you need to burn someone's flag.
the Confederate flag.
It was a picture. It wasn't the actual
Oh,
flag.
he got arrested for the picture.
He got arrested for disorderly conduct.
Oh,
Also, he started a fire. They believe me, there are laws. You can't just go and burn. Where
yeah, I know.
he did it inside, and it was a picture of a Confederate flag. But I think that's inappropriate. The
It's
actual
certain.
burning of someone. Listen to what I'm saying. Anyone's flag. I don't think that that's necessary.
I mean, I wanna be like, yeah, it ain't necessary, but to see it and to watch people continuously do it, it's like it ain't no consequences for it. That just,
He was arrested.
I mean, being arrested really ain't a consequence.
Tabor. He burned a flag. They arrested him for disorderly conduct. Why? Because he was burning a flag. He was burning a picture in a public area.
So what? He went to jail for maybe a couple days, 6 months, a
I
year.
don't think he stayed
Okay,
a couple of. He might have went down there and got out, and he probably got a fine. He got to pay a fine.
got a fine. He got a little fine, but he got to do what he wanted to do, so it was worth the fine. Because
Okay.
he knew he would have got in trouble, but it ain't no real consequences. This overall ain't no real consequences. They
This
know.
guy.
I know these people know that these black
Tabor.
folks. Go
A
ahead.
lot of people don't think going to jail, period, is okay. You said no real there are consequences. He was arrested. But for some people, Tabor, that's a big deal. Getting arrested. We not even made it to doing time. No, we're talking about the whole concept of your being hands behind your back, marched off. So that was consequences for him. He didn't enjoy that.
I mean, but he probably knew he would go to jail. The most you can do is give me a fine, but you got to send me home. You can't give me no real time. So he did it. And I'm not talking about people who ain't fighting for nothing. I'm talking about people who feel like in their heart what they fighting for is real. And it should be the way they think it should be. And that's the route they took. They didn't take no other route but going with and did what you just said he did. All he got was jail time. Ain't no consequence, bro. There are people either in jail or out of jail that have done things to people that have done certain things and they didn't care about the consequence because they felt like they deserved it. I don't see the 18-year-olds, bro, banning like that, bro. It may be a few of them, and even then, hopefully they don't lose those scholarships their future get ruined because they trying to stand up to something. You hear what I'm saying? It's like, bro, go do what you need to do. Go get your paper and go fight from a different stance opposed to trying to fight when you poor, bro. That's the worst thing you can do. It's trying to go
Well,
against somebody, a machine that's bigger than you, and you ain't got no resources and no real backing. That's the worst thing you can do. You already lost the battle and the war.
well, they're not really going after them. They're going after the recruits, the big name recruits. Those they got big NIL deals. None of them are poor.
I don't know, man.
They're
It's a lot of money to be out here.
multi-millionaires in college. Multi.
Already? Man,
Yeah.
time has changed.
You get paid to play, you get paid in college football, depending on, what they assess your worth to be. And they want
But
those guys to transfer. They want them to transfer to other schools so that they're not making money for a state that they believe discriminates against black people.
when does the next recruits come in? Would that be this August for
I don't
football?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. You're always recruiting though.
Okay, so if they, for one, they're always recruiting, and if let's say August, and this is happening now, it just seems like from here on out, like let's say the date on out, all they gotta do is put their paperwork of what they can and cannot do, and what they not gonna sign
What they
that
gonna
deal.
put what they gonna put on them? What they gonna say?
No boycott, stuff like that.
There you go. Okay. They should do
Stop.
that, boy.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's the way they play the game. They don't be out here arguing like that. They be out here changing laws and putting things within laws. 15.1-A. Like what? Bro, that's on the 4th page. We've already read 1,000 lines worth of words. And we still got more in some technical term that most people don't understand. And then you talk about millions of dollars up front or that you can get in college. Yeah, man. It's just hard to see people stand up when money is in the way. And when they start standing up, they got money. And even then, they don't even start moving money around like that. They just be talking. They ain't really doing nothing for the most part. I mean, they got a couple schools up. They donate a couple dollars, got a couple programs going on. But actually moving needles, man, they ain't doing that, bro. And we know that because we see a lot of rich people like that, or rich black people,
We'll see.
that they be like,
No,
well,
no.
I ain't saying nothing.
No, Tabor. We'll see. I think it is gonna matter. Um, I think we're in an age of social media. I think it's being labeled a racist university, a racist state. I think that matters. And you're doing it to young people. These are not older people. These are young people. So I think that does matter. And I think a lot of those recruits are going to forego the SEC and go to other conferences, which means that it's going to take a toll on those universities. As
Let me
simple as
ask you,
that.
some of that, like let's say the $1 million, the dude that got whoever it is, right? Like just hypothetical, the person that get $1 million, wouldn't that be coming from like the school boosters or something like that? Or is it coming from like
It's
brand deals
coming from sponsorships,
that work with
NIL.
the school?
I think they work with pretty much. They can sponsor. You can sponsor multiple players. So you'd have to talk to someone who really understands that. I don't know how it breaks down.
Because
I think
the
that
question,
the SEC is coming from stuff like that. But like I said, I don't know how it breaks down.
the point that I was trying to make about it is that let's say you said Ole Miss, right? If a homie went to Ole Miss and he felt like he don't want to play no more, he gonna take this stance. Can his money be taken because the people that invested in him is because he's at Ole Miss and not in Colorado?
They have a procedure for all of that. And no, they can't take their money, but there's a procedure for all of that.
They can start some blackballing. Because if you take my money and you ain't doing what I'm telling you to do, it's gonna be some blackballing going on. And we
Tabor,
see that. I mean, we see that, bro. It's a real
you're not
thing.
going Tabor. See, Tabor, this world, the college football and stuff, it's a different world. So
Don't sound like it, bro. It sounds like they getting treated like civilians out here. The same way soldiers get treated out here. It be race things all the time. They don't care what you do in America. They don't care if you play football, you running in corporate, or if you fighting a war. The racism is still the same. As adults that's 40, 50 years older than some 18-year-olds, they know what it is. And there's the ones on one side that act like it ain't going on, and it's the ones on the other side that know it's going on and won't do nothing, and neither one of them are doing nothing about it. And now we putting
Yeah,
it on some 18-year-olds to change the world.
yeah, we are.
That's wild, bro. That's
We are.
wild, bro.
We are. We are. It's gonna be what they make it. What kind of country do they want?
Well, I can say I hope that they don't do nothing foolish that's gonna cost them their future, because it's some things going on that's out their control. I mean, controlling the controllables and then fighting somebody over some nonsense that just you looking at them and it's like, ain't nobody want to lose this situation. You telling me I gotta give up something, so that means I gotta take the loss, and you ain't taking no loss, and I'm bigger than you, and I lost to the smaller man. Man, that's a level of frustration that don't get talked about. Because people go do things to you if they feel like you got over on them, even if you was right. I don't know, man. It's like the conversation almost never changes when it comes to racism and politicians and just America, bro. It's always based the same for me. I was raised in the South. I grew up in the South. I know what it is. I went to a racist high school, at least the last high school I went to. It was racist in Lafayette, Louisiana. I've never seen the way they move. I didn't come from that. I came from all races together. If something going down and they boycotting or got something going on at the school, it's all races showing up about it. Everybody making complaints. Everybody taking a stance. You can't pick one of them out of it because they too deep in it. Like ain't nobody folding, and things get changed. You're talking about poor people, 18-year-old black dudes came out. They've been working this hard and some money in my face. And y'all want me to go argue with some people that these grown adults ain't arguing with? Nah, G. Nah. This is the maneuvering through the world that we know we got to do as black men every day. And even though we don't want to do it, we still got to do it. While getting talked down to by people, I guess in this situation, who ain't got no talent. All they got is words. They ain't never really played the game. They ain't put up no numbers. They ain't got no stats, no jerseys. Nobody that see in public and be like, oh man, you such and such. You went to such and such school. I followed you since high school. And those are the dudes that's making laws about dudes and their bodies and putting their lives on the line. Come on, bro. I don't see that, bro. I be wanting to have faith with what you be saying, bro, with America. I be wanting to. It just be hard, bro, based on history. History make it hard.
Well, we'll see, Tabor. I really think you're going to see a mass exodus out of the SEC. I think you're going to be, you got to remember they talked about King, they talked about Martin. And we'll see, because ultimately, it's going to come down to that, right and wrong. And they're going to label the Negroes who stay behind as coons.
Man, they label us coons every day, all day anyway. They'll label you a coon for not quitting your job because one person didn't get a raise. And it'd be the laziest person that didn't get the raise. No, man. So now we got what you talking about with this football or the sports, and we got politicians as far as people starting to change and waking up. That's a lot of fight, bro. That's a lot of fighting, bro.
We'll see. There's nothing we can do but get the message out and see, does it influence and change things? I think it's going to change a lot. I do. It's just a matter of time. I think you're going to see.
It and you know, based on what you saying, it made me think about what you just said about the dude that make money or the people that make money in college now, right? And it took they argued about it for years, and then it ended up happening, and now it didn't happen. For us to have to for us to have to focus on the sports and change laws within sports to get it for everybody else, man, that is the wildest thing, bro.
Well, you have to always improve, Tabor. When you die, you're done. But you're never done with improving until you're no longer with us. Too many Negroes want to go bounce around and twerk.
Not a dude twerking.
No, and waste time when there's work to be done. They got to get those redistricting. You got to get that thing back fair. You got to do what you got to do to get it back fair.
It is fair, just not to you.
Well, we're going to get it back to the way it was. How about that?
You think they gonna take it back to where it was on the redistricting?
It would take a while.
It probably took a while to get there. So the fight to keep it is gonna be crazy. We ain't changing nothing. And let me ask you, what did they add a representative in that? Did they add a politician? Is there a seat being added, or was it a seat taken away?
Some of them increased the seats. But we'll see, like, man. You still have to do it though. Just because it's a hard fight, uphill climb, that don't mean you shouldn't do it. You got to fight, and it's the right thing to do. Why would they stay there and make all those SEC schools rich and richer? Why would they stay there, knowing how those schools feel about them?
Man, the incentives, bro. That's just what I believe on it. I mean, I get where you coming from, and you want to change. They can't start with no 18-year-olds and messing up their future because some 40-year-olds feel away. It's not smart, bro.
I heard what you said. We'll see how they look at it.
Is there somebody leading this pack?
Huh?
Like, is there somebody leading the pack, like a student? Not a student, but an athlete?
We'll see. I don't know. We'll all of that is going to have to play itself out, But we do need some help, though, Tabor, right?
What kind of help?
We got to change, man. I mean, nobody wants to play in the South where you vote and it don't matter because you in a district where it's so racially divided that you're irrelevant. But you can stand up on this. You can stand up on this and transfer, and you can publicly say to the world why you're transferring, and you can pretend that don't matter all you want to. It matters because it influences other people to do it. If a guy stands up, he's the number one linebacker for Georgia, University of Georgia, and he stands up at a press conference and say, I want to play for Deion. And they said, well, why you want to play for Deion? He said, because this redistricting is racist, and I'm not going to support this university. I'm not going to support this university because this redistricting is racist. That's a shot heard around the country. They can deny it all they want to. They're going to have to justify, well, look at what you did to these black people. You saying that you're not what this recruit is saying you are, but look at what you did. How can they vote? What's wrong with being black and being elected? You set it up where it's always going to be white people that's elected from this district. Do they share the same beliefs? And they have, so they can do what they want. They can do what they want, but it's going to have an after effect. And Negroes should have been done this. Go to these other schools, man. Get up out the SEC. Get up out of the SEC. You don't belong in the SEC. You belong better.
I mean, to know that Alabama and Georgia, because you said they'll be affected, but I know those states that I pass through all the time, and know that they don't have really too much. It seems like they two of the poorest, states in the country. Like just driving through it, it looks poor. Like for them to have a killer football team, you say they barely lose and all, don't lose like that. That's just crazy in itself. Like, why ain't y'all parents telling y'all need not be going to these schools? Nah, we don't support this state like that. Yeah, we live here, but we don't support them like that. Let me tell you how they been dogging us. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go up north. But if that's the school that was around you, how do you fight that? Especially when kids, I think they know everything. I mean, I was 18, and then we talk about going against your parents, and they do that freely.
We'll see.
They looking for that
Well,
18 year that they to
Tabor,
go against them.
we're dealing with a different type of American. When you say college, even though you can say what you want about some of the athletes, but you're dealing with a different type of American. These citizens think a little bit more. They look at the whole picture.
And
they're not going to necessarily. They're not going to be. You can't. Fox News can't fool them. The nonsense of that you hear that goes out on these conservative podcasters, they can't. Trump told you. Trump says he loves the low IQ voter. He said he loves those guys. They're not going to be able to fool them. They're not going to go to those schools, man.
Is it going to be more of the court of public opinion that's going to change it? And this is what I want to ask you. Are you talking about like all the people that watch the sport that's going to help change it? Like, I guess the whites, the Asians, everybody else but black? Like, you think they're going to get involved somehow?
They won't have viewership. They're not going to. The networks, right? They pay to broadcast those teams. They're not going to pay you if they can't make money. So if you got a bunch of SEC teams and they're down, why are they going to pay? They're not. Somebody else will broadcast it. That's fine. The major networks won't broadcast it.
Yeah, I mean you're right about that, Platt. I mean, it's a tall order to ask somebody 18, 19 years old to make a decision like that. I understand the decision has to be made, but I think the messaging from the NAACP was a little bit off. Because instead of telling the kids like don't go there, who recruiting the kids to go there, right? People always say there's a white face in front of it, but no. You look at the staff, the coach may be white, but 70% of the staff is black who's recruiting the kids to go there. So to me, the message should have been from the NAACP to those coaches that are at Ole Miss, Louisiana, Mississippi State, all of those Southeastern Conference schools. Look at the coaches beneath the head coach. Look at the running back coach, the wide receiver coach, the safety coach, the cornerback coach. They're all black. All of them. And they're recruiting the black kids to go to those schools. NAACP should have told them, leave your job.
What SEC school has a majority black assistant coach staff?
Look at I'm telling you, look at the staffs.
Which one?
Anyone.
Lane took.
Look at LSU.
Lane Kiffin took his coaches with him to LSU.
Yeah, look at LSU coaching staff. Look at the running back coach.
Lane Kiffin said he went down with racism.
But what I'm saying is the message from the NAACP to me was off in that standpoint, because nothing's gonna change when you have a black face sitting in your living room.
They don't have to listen.
Our school.
They do not have to listen to some black guy being paid by one of these universities to get that recruit to come to that school. They don't have to listen to him.
That's how they get the recruit, Platt.
They don't have to listen to him. They see in the news, they see what's going on.
But you're gonna ask a 18-year-old
It's already
kid
picked up. It's
to
already
say-
picked up. It's already picked up on NBC.
That's
on
great.
CNN. Hold up. It's becoming the players talk. So if
They
I'm a
do.
player and I'm going to UCLA and I'm leaving Ole Miss, I talk. Hey man, what's going on? Oh, I'm transferring, man. Oh, why? I can't play for this state. So that information is going to get out. Now, what they do with it, that's up to them. And you only need the top recruits. You don't really need scrubs. Guys are not going to get drafted. They don't need them. They can stay there. You need the top recruits. That's where the money is.
The message should have been to the coaching staff, to
grown
all
adults.
of those coaches, to the grown adults, to say, hey, you okay with working at this school? You okay working in this state still? You telling the grown adults they okay still collecting $750,000 a year, but now you coming to me, I'm in a double wide trailer, and now you telling me no, or I'm in a single wide trailer, and you telling me no, don't take the money that I see another grown black adult that's working at that university take. That's hypocritical. They should be talking.
You only need the top recruits, and they're not in trailer wides.
You don't know that.
They're not. They're getting the NIL money. They're millionaires.
They don't get the money till they get to the school, Platt.
But look, the top recruit linebacker for Georgia, they already projected him to make $3 million just 1 year. They didn't say nothing about him starting. He just chose that school. They're gonna give him $3 million.
You don't get the money until you
but he
play.
didn't look like he wouldn't look like he was from no. He looked like he was raised by two parents. Looks like he was middle class. He was recruited and he's there now. Black guy. It's not going to be. I'm trying to tell you, they only need the top 10 recruits. They don't need these scrubs. It's going to affect them.
Not enough.
And okay, man, actually, if Arch Manning, if he said, I'm going to USC, I'm not playing for Texas, and I'm leaving because of all of the stuff with the voting, you don't think that would you think that? Do you think that would matter?
I think it would matter, but like I said, the messaging from the NAACP is off. The messaging was strictly to black kids. You should have just said all athletes in these conferences.
No, they did. No. They said all athletes. It's student and athletes. It's for them, but they know the impact. Coaches. The impact is the players. They know that. They know where they can do some damage. As far as those coaches, you got me. The majority of black assistant coaches, most of the assistant coaches in the SEC are black. I don't know. I've never really looked behind the assistant coach thing, but
look at
the majority. I'd be surprised if the majority were black. They got some black assistant coaches. I never.
This is the architect. This is the architect of the coaching staff. Head coach, white. Coordinator, the offensive coordinator, white. The defensive coordinator, white. But then after you branch off from head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, now you go to the running backs coach, black. Go to the defensive line coach, black. Go to the DB coach, black. Go to the strength and conditioning coach, black. Wide receiver coach, black. They're all black. They're all putting in the legwork to get a black 18, 19-year-old to the school. That's why I say send that message to the staff. Tell the staff, you okay with this?
We'll see.
You're recruiting my daughters to come to your school and play sports. So you okay with it? You okay lining your pocket? But now I have to have the moral.
Well, they're gonna get their money.
I'm not doing that.
The money argument, it's irrelevant because they'll get their money whether they go to Tennessee or whether they go to USC. So they're going to get their money. I keep telling you, the top recruits. If they
Tell
lose
the
the top
coaches
recruits,
that,
if they lose the
dude,
top recruits, that's going to affect the TV revenue. It's going to affect the interest in the university. They need the top recruits.
they need to tell the coaches that too. Guess how many black coaches, head coaches in the SEC? Just take a wild guess. Black head
None.
coach in it, none. Not a single one.
Tabor, we know that. It's a racist conference.
That wasn't me.
Tabor, I mean, my fault. JR, I don't care about some Negro, a defensive back coach at one of them schools.
You
You know,
should. They the
who
ones
I
coming to your
wouldn't want to
house
go
to
to this school.
recruit your
I wouldn't want
kids.
to go to. That's up to him. If he wants to keep, well, on that, it's a little bit different, but that's up to him. He doesn't matter. He said, look at where he is. I'm saying I would rather get the recruit. The top recruit matters. Who the defensive
Recruitment,
back coach is, that he don't even matter.
recruitment is built on relationships, Platt.
They're not going, and I'm
you're
telling
talking
you,
to
they're
somebody
not
that
going
was
to go.
recruited.
They're not going to go to those schools knowing what's going on in those states. You keep
They're
thinking
going. They're
that
going.
Negro can come in and convince the mom or whether the father this. They know what's going on, brother.
They know what's going on. They're still
So they're going to not go.
They're going like Tabor said earlier with the parents. You're telling the child to do something when the parents never moved out of the situation. So what is the child going to do? 9 times out of 10, the child will follow in the footsteps of the parent. You're telling me this town is racist, but yet you never left the town. And then you go into a racist town and you still see generations of a black family in that racist town. You know why? Because the parents never left them. Tabor, you was right. You're right on that, bro. It won't be until
I have
these
no
coaches,
idea what that means. That has nothing to do with not going to that university. You don't want to go.
Has everything to do with it, bro.
You don't want to go to that university. You don't want to go to that university because you don't want to go. It has nothing to do with your mom has been there forever. That she didn't ever play football. She never had an opportunity to leave. You're a top recruit. You can go anywhere in the country. You don't have to go to these racist schools. And
you
it's like
saying
I
that
said,
as an older man,
I'm
Black.
gonna say this again. It's irrelevant. Some defensive back coach for Ole Miss or Mississippi State, nobody cares about him. Stay or leave. But it does matter, those top recruits. Those top recruits matter. And also, if you're a big name quarterback, you're gonna make more than some clown ass defensive back coach. It matters where you go. People want to see you play. Look at Arch Manning. People can't wait to see him play. That matters. If he says I'm going to USC, that matters.
So you think if these recruits leave where they at and go somewhere else, let's say it's a school that don't have they get aired on TV, but they don't really get played. They don't really get aired like that, right? If that's a thing.
Well,
do you think they're supposed to get aired more?
If that's any good, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the way it is set up now, it's hard for you to play for a small school and you're good. You just get recruited to leave that school.
Yeah.
You had Pravia with Vanderbilt. He came out of New Mexico State. He played in the SEC 2 years. He was a Heisman Trophy runner-up. He didn't even get drafted. I can go look him up. He made a couple of million. The 2 years he was there, he made about, I don't know, $5 million. He went through the whole entire draft. No one picked him up. So yeah, it's hard to get drafted.
Where you from?
They said something about he had a bad attitude, but I don't know. I went at the he can play. I can tell you right now, Diego Pravia can play, but whatever. We'll see, man. We'll see. But I'll tell you what this will prove. Negroes ain't got nothing to say, because if Negroes line up and they play for those schools, what is they complaining about? You get you get what you deserve. If that's the country you want, this is the country you got. Accept it. Just accept it, man. I hope they respect your money. That hasn't been proven to be true. But the Negro can try to hide behind his money and see if that white man ain't gonna exact some type of punishment on him for just being black in his community. And maybe these Negroes will wake up and learn. But the NAACP, they're just a messenger. And because of their interest, this thing has gotten oxygen. Now they handed the baton off. It's time for you to take it to the next level. We're going to see, they're going to get some recruits out the SEC. You're going to see some people, left tackles, not quarterbacks. You're going to see some left tackles or wide receivers, linebackers come out publicly and say that either that they're leaving and they don't feel comfortable playing in the school, so they'll transfer next year. You're going to see that.
And you don't think they won't get no consequences from nobody for making that move? You don't think they will be?
I don't know what you can do to them.
I mean, be undraftable.
No, they would.
Something
Why
like
would
that.
they? Man, the NFL don't care about the dudes transfer. They don't care what they want them now. They want them to come to the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL may not care, but the person that knows the people that's within the NFL can say something. People be having power.
What they gonna say? We'll see.
I just don't want y'all to
got you. We'll see what the NFL does. We'll see. I got what you're saying. We'll see.
Yeah, they could definitely mess with their money. He a bad character guy. Somebody that could be a first-round talent. Now he a bad character guy. Had a lot of issues at school. This, that, and the third. You go from the first round to the third round or the fourth round, the fifth round. Now you losing out on millions of dollars on guaranteed money. Yeah, they can say whatever they want.
Okay, I mean they got to sit down at the breakfast table or whatever. They got to sit down at the kitchen table and discuss it. You know, they should have an agent there.
Yeah,
the family should go. The family should go over all of what could happen if they transfer, how to transfer, and all of that. That's a decision they got to make.
Man, I believe Gen Z, Gen Alpha, about to be like the silent generation and the older heads, and they go focus on their money. If they can get money, they go get money. They not about to change anything.
And it solves the question. There's nothing to complain about. They can redistrict any kind of way they want. Okay. That's up to the people. The people are going to decide this stuff. And you got really, really bad background, JR. The people ultimately decide all of this stuff. That's where it's going to come to. I think that you're going to see it. And I don't even think it takes a whole lot of players. I think if you can get the big names, and I think they do. I think you do have access. I think you got Dion, you got Shannon. They're going to talk to these players. You got, I don't know what Stephen A, but still, that's going to become a conversation for those guys. They're going to reach out to those players. Can they tell those players what to do? Nope. But you're going to see a mass migration out of the South. That's going to happen, man. And what the white community needs to accept, that a lot of black people are not comfortable with racism. Their idea is to discriminate against you, and you can't say anything. If you say something, then you're racist. Well, those days are over. Those days are over. And those guys in the age of social media, they're going to be public about that.
Nah,
they're going to come out and they're going to transfer, and they're going to get away from a lot of these Southern schools.
I believe times is too hard, and most people is like sticking with the job that you don't want to be at. You'll stay with that job just because of the economic times. Like, people go find an excuse of why not to do. And it seems like everything that we get changed, it has to be so much disrespect going on before it even get changed. And then we got to go argue as a grown adult. I got to go argue with another adult about some videos that you see online and you acting like ain't happening. That's a lot to put on.
I have no idea what you're talking about, brother.
I'm talking about the argument of
I'm
telling
talking
somebody.
about the top. I'm talking about the top recruits. All you need is the top recruits. We don't need that whole team. You just need you need the best players. Okay, Ole Miss, give me the quarterback, give me the 2 wide receivers, give me the linebacker. Okay, you can leave that alone. You go to LSU, give me your left tackle. Give me all of those. If these people start transferring, it's going to affect that conference. It don't need to be the whole entire roster of black players transfer. But if they can get into the best players out of there, it's going to hurt that city.
It's how many years you think it'll take to change?
Oh, man, I think it's going to take about 5 years. I think it's got to start. I think you'll really see it next year. I think this season, you're going to really hear about it, and you really going to see it happen. Next year, I think that the coaches don't play fair. I know they say they do. I think that they're going to use that to recruit against those other. Why wouldn't you? If you're a coach and you make $10 million a year and you look around and you see players who can potentially come and help your school, but they don't know, and you go in there as a coach and say, what about the racism? And maybe you're just saying it to say it. And they say, you know what, coach, you're right. I think I'll take, well, guess what? You did what you're supposed to. And the state, you're supposed to clean up a state. They shouldn't even be able to suggest something like that. But if you make these laws like that, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, they cool with watching black people play football and running their bodies and entertaining them. But as far as them having an opinion, yeah, I mean across the board, bro, we know how that plays out.
We'll see, man.
But
I'm telling you, they're not going to miss it. If anything, you would make more money. If you are a top wide receiver and you've already committed to one of these schools, if you come out publicly and say you can't play for this school, you're going to get your money. You're going to transfer. You're going to your public footprint is going to be tremendous. You need to do it. That's a smart thing to do. You're going to go number 1 pick. You're going to be top overall pick. You're not going to miss a dollar.
yeah, it'd be labeled as difficult though. That'd be an easy thing to do. Like JR just said, start assassinating characters to where nobody want to work with.
Well, I don't know. I mean, why? Because they don't want to play for a racist state?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I
there you
wouldn't want
go.
them to do it, but they do it.
Well, there you go. The NFL don't care, though. I'm telling you, the NFL, what you do to them, they care about, but they don't care about you transferred in college because you didn't like the state, you ain't like the coach, you ain't like the team. They don't care.
But didn't you just say if man, you said something about the NFL? Oh man, bro, you just brought it up. I can't even think straight. The NFL and doing something to the NFL, right? But you just said somebody. I'm gonna try to think about it, bro. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think about it. Oh, what do you call that? Carrying over to the NFL. You just said the dude that was the Heisman Trophy winner, right? But when he went to get into the NFL,
Mhm.
like you said, it was like he was difficult because actually it was the
Well,
attitude or
that's
whatever.
what they
And you
say.
like
No, that's what they say.
that, and he didn't get picked. So for whatever we know
No, he
about or
didn't.
don't know
He
about,
didn't.
and
No, he didn't get picked.
he worked hard. He got a Heisman. I'm pretty sure there ain't too many people that
He
got it.
didn't
I mean,
win.
I know they
He
got it.
didn't win the
Oh,
Heisman. He didn't win the Heisman.
not win it, but what do you call that? He got
Runner up.
nominated for it,
Runner up.
right? Okay, runner up. So that would be second. So if the first person didn't win, he would have won it. And even with that, like they can just say what they want. Like, yeah, bro, it's gonna be, man. How many? I would hate for a youngster to, I'm telling you, to lose their future trying to fight a fight that ain't even they fight.
There you go. And I got you, man. Well, just leave everything the same. Let's leave it all the same, man. And we're gonna find out if that's the way they move. We're gonna see if they're gonna say, "Hey, leave it the same, man. We'll figure it out. Um, we'll just figure it out." Okay.
I mean, there got to be another alternative than have some kids come out. It got to be another one. This is something to be discussed among some 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds that know
Okay.
what the world has been like. That's established. They got their houses, they got their careers, right? They can lose a job because they can find another one, or their retirement set up so nice that it don't even matter if I lose this job. What's right is right. This is what JR said about the recruiters. They going in and they saying something. They talking to you, but if they look like you and they gonna make it sound good, they can tell you the truth. But why would they do that? Do they get bonuses for these players? Like, is there any incentives if these players come if they win games? So why would you tell them the truth? You gonna tell them whatever you need them to hear. I'm listening, bro. Listen to me now.
We'll see what they do. You know, NAACP has given this oxygen. This isn't about the, when you listen to these clowns and they start talking about the NAACP is this and that and all of that, NAACP has always been what it is. But they gave this oxygen and they got this some legs on this story. This story's up there now. Now we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe the players say, I'm gonna stay here. Maybe the players say I'm gonna leave. We'll see. They don't really need, they could do all of it right now with Arch. Arch Manning, you wouldn't need any black player in the SEC to say no. Just let Arch say no. So I'm going to USC. I'm going to USC. Now he would have an exodus. Who wants to come with me? Arch Manning say, I'm going to USC, and who wants to come with me? I can't play for these racist schools. You see a goddamn dream team. I would do it. I would do it. If I was Arch, I would do it. If I'm Archie Manning, I leave. You're gonna be the #1 pick. This is your world now. What you want it to be. He needs to do it.
The dude that you talking about, does he come from a family with some money, like well off? Like, if he didn't go to the NFL, he'd be fine?
Well, it's not his money, but yeah, his family's well off.
Then he could take that chance. He could take that chance, but depending on how hard he works.
Keep talking about, bro, I'm keep trying to tell you, they got to be a top recruit. They're going to have money if they're a top recruit. You keep talking about it like you're talking about the food stamp dude that his whole that he needs an NIL check to survive. Well, he can stay. If that's what you want, let him stay. But you want the top recruits. That's what you want. And the SEC people know that because they do matter.
I don't know, man. I know at this point, like I know I was 18 at one point, right? And I know others, and I see what I see. I know how it went up until this point. That's a big ask, bro. That's a big ask to ask somebody to throw away their future, possibly, or give up the team that they really been wanting to go to since middle school. That's a big ask, bro.
You go. There you go. And the top recruits, there's already cracks in the armor. It's more people are coming to this. I think Ryan Clark spoke about it. I think I'm waiting on Shannon to give me his opinion. I don't care what Stephen A says, but this opportunity, man, to help your people. What are you going to do? It's going to be up to you. You're right. You don't have to do nothing.
Oh,
and you're
I'm
also
interested
talking about,
to see.
yeah, you're talking about college kids. Now, these are college kids. This is a time to grow and to learn. This is enlightenment. This is them standing up for their rights, them looking at the old civil rights marches and saying, we can do the same thing. We can do this to help the people. And they're going to do it. This is where we disagree. You guys say they won't. They're going to do it. It's the right thing to do. I also think you guys, I think that you're underestimating how many white or non-black players are going to join them with this. I think you're underestimating that.
Yeah, I didn't say it won't happen, but it's going to take time. And I can tell you what will not happen, definitely will not happen, is Arch Manning leaving. And then the thing about that is that, so let's say hypothetically, Arch Manning leave and he go to USC and he get a king's ransom. He gets what he wants. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm joining Arch. I'm leaving too. You know what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna get lowballed. I'm gonna leave a school, let's say Texas, whatever, where they would give me $1 million to play wide receiver. Now I'm following Arch to USC. USC gonna be looking like, yeah, dog, we ain't got to pay you the same amount we going that we paying Arch.
Okay.
If
We
they
don't
got
have to
space
give you
for
the
it.
same
Well,
amount of money
stay.
that Texas
Well,
gave you
well,
because
stay.
you left.
Okay,
So
well,
guess
stay
what?
then.
You're gonna take less. They do it now.
Okay, well, stay.
That's
Stay
why I
where you
said
are.
that the message has to go to the adults, man. It's the adults in the room that need to fix this problem.
I
That's where the
disagree.
message
I
has to
think
go.
the recruits, I don't even think you need a lot. I think if you can get the top 10 recruits out of the SEC
Not enough.
two years in a row, it's going to hurt them, man.
Not enough. Not enough.
If you got average players instead of those superstars, it's going to hurt those schools.
Not enough. And you know why? You know why 10 is not enough? It would have to be hundreds, Platt. 10's
No,
not
they
enough.
don't need that many. They don't.
Because
No,
look,
superstar. They need the superstars. If they can get the superstars,
all
it's
10
gonna.
would
If you
have to
take,
go to the same school. They would have to
if
go
you,
to the same school to make a dent.
no, they don't.
Yeah,
If you
Platt.
take the top players from LSU and they go to Ohio State, remember they got their own roster right now. They got their own recruits right now. So you take Ohio State and say, here, LSU, these are the top 5 players for LSU, but they're coming to your school. Okay. Michigan, top 5 players from Alabama, they're going to Michigan. Indiana.
And that's where it stopped.
Top 5 players from
10. That's what
Florida.
I'm saying. It's not, it will not be enough. It won't be enough.
Okay. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. We have to wait and see.
You need hundreds of them to leave the conference. You probably gonna need a solid 20-something guys to leave. Because if you look at the way these conferences are built, now they have these super conferences, but if you look at the way a conference is built, look at Ohio State. They already good, right? Oregon's already good. So sure, you'll take 2 or 3 players and make that roster even better. But now for the rest of them, because Ohio State ain't gonna be able to take all of them, Michigan can't take all of them, so now they got to go to Northwestern. And now I'm playing with a whole bunch of just average guys. Guess what happens?
Once again, I told you they don't. They don't have to leave. You keep saying that I'm telling you, they can go to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. They just won't have no superstars.
You need a mass exodus for it to make a dent.
Well, that's up to them. Then they got to accept the outcome on that. You keep saying like it's got to benefit them if they exit. If they exit, they exit. That's up to them. There's other schools out there. They don't have to play for those schools. And all of those schools, I think I looked it up. I think Middle Tennessee, they got NIL. You got NIL with hockey. You got people on hockey teams who get NIL money. So they can transfer, and that's up to them. They got to look and see, do I get more, I get less? Will I get a chance to play? Is this a good fit for me? That's up to them. Well, I got to stay here.
Yeah, you need exposure too. Middle Tennessee? Come on, Platt. Cut it out, man.
Well, I didn't say
I'm not
go
leaving
to
Tennessee to go to Middle Tennessee. Cut it out, Platt. I'm going to lose money and exposure.
I didn't say go
Come
to.
on, man. That's a double whammy.
Brother, I just told you, brother. I didn't say go to Middle. I said that they pay NIL at Middle. And if you are a backup for Alabama, a backup, and you want to leave, you can leave. There are other colleges. You pick the college, you find out, you transfer. That's a decision you've made. All they need is the big name recruits. That's all they need. If they can funnel, if you look at the ESPN projected top 100 college recruits, if the Pac I mean, if the Big Ten can get the top 20, and then next year get the top, that's over with. The SEC is over because they don't have any talent. They have no talent, and they don't have no potential new talent. So if they start funneling all those top players, you keep talking. I'm not talking about the backups and the scrubs. Yeah, they'll field the team, but those guys are not talented enough to compete with these bigger teams. If Notre Dame can start scooping them up, they need to go. And the SEC, they beat each other up anyhow. So now they're not going to be able to do it because nobody has a standout. Everybody's average. So it's the right thing to do. And it's not even me. I'm not going to say I came up with it. I mean, even though I did, but it's got its own thing now. It's got life of its own now. I'm just watching. Let's see what happens. You tell me. I mean, I don't know. And it's going to hurt more than people are playing. People playing with this. They're trying to put this fire out. Nah, man, it's going to go full blaze. And remember, the majority of players on the Texans, I believe, is black. Somebody's going to talk to Arch about, hey, man, why don't we get the hell out of here? Now, I don't know if Arch is going to leave this year or not. I think he should go to UFC and send a shot to the South, heard around the world. I think he can afford it because his family's rich. I'm not saying they got money. He won't, and he makes, what, 7-8 million a year, and how's he losing? And he did it for noble reasons. And that's just going to raise his brand even more. Arch, you need to do it.
Sound good, bro. It's
I
all
hope he does
good.
it. Arch, you need to do it. Arch, you need to do it. And yeah, the blacks who stayed with the University of Texas and get their NIL money, okay, and they want to get that degree. They can't afford to do it. Well, Arch can. Now, I don't think it's good that they do that, but I understand that they did it because they're trying to graduate. Donald Trump said change the Constitution. There's a guy in the chat. Now all of a sudden it's about the Constitution. Now all of a sudden the Supreme Court is a good court. Now all of a sudden all of these things are good. When they disagree, they're activist court. Donald Trump said change the Constitution. You see the shell game they play?
Oh yeah, I know. I see it. It's all over, bro. It's all over. It's part of our history.
And you're going to see a movement. It's going to be a exodus out of the South. I think you focus on the top recruits. I think that it'll solve itself. I think the black community, the communication is going to be there. And I do think that it's going to affect those universities. And I also think they're going to change. I think that they're going to back legislators who are going to go in there and change it. And that university, that's a big donor. They got a lot of money. I think they're going to say, hey, we're going to put our support behind this person running for office, and we're going to change these districts. We're going to go back to the old lines. Just a matter of time, man.
Well, I mean, they eventually got paid in college, so I mean, it didn't help the rest of the America, but it helped who they need to help.
Well, it depends on what you expect. I mean, like a college kid, I don't know him. He goes to Minnesota, he gets a meal, and say while in college, he gets $3 million. I don't know him. How's it gonna? It's not gonna be anything for me. I'm happy he got his money. But I hope that he also is willing to transfer out of these schools that don't respect the constituents. And you talk about black people taking a stand. They're gonna have to take a stand, man. They're gonna have to take a stand.
And the stance we go, and for the most part, to be able to know that there's a lot of other things going on, and the stance we end up taking is for this. You know, that's a priority issue, bro.
They're gonna have to take a stand, and they're gonna have to come out and make a difference. And yeah, it's gonna be. I wouldn't say it's gonna be 19-year-old kids. It's gonna be 19-year-old recruits that's gonna have to lead black people to the promised land. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna come from them.
Well, I do
Now, if
believe
they
that's
choose
the
to, if
future,
they
though.
choose to do it, they do it. They don't, they don't.
I do believe that's the way it's gonna play out as far as the world changing goes. It's gonna have a lot to do with kids. Well, not kids, but like young adults. And them taking in their lives seriously because they'll realize that most people around them didn't take their lives seriously, and they see
Okay.
where they at.
And Tabor, we wanted to make our point. We did. NAACP is speaking up, and they're telling athletes to boycott SEC schools. We'll see if that message is received. Now, I'm going to say this again, the NAACP. NAACP has its own problems, but they are the messenger. When you see people, they want to focus on the NAACP, they don't really want you. That's a shell game. That's clown shit. That's the messenger. Oh, you want to ignore the message. You want to focus on the messenger. Of course you do, because you're mad, you're scared of the message. Black athletes need to boycott these SEC schools. They need to, and they are going to. Period. You can talk about the SEC to the end of time. I mean, the NAACP to the end of time. That's not going to change this message. And I am glad the NAACP picked this up because they're giving it oxygen. And it's a good story, and it's the truth. And Tabor, I'll let you have the last word.
Man, I hope it is a situation to where they do change for the future of their program or what they love to do. You know, from time will tell. I appreciate the convo, big dog.
All right. And we out of here.